Hi everyone, welcome back to this week Weekly Market Update. So let's directly dive to what's happening on last week and things to watch out for the coming weeks. Many things is happening, and also to give an update on current watch list that we have, and also to introduce one or two new counter that we'll be looking for the coming week as well. As you can see that Dow has gained more than 250 points last Friday itself, so finishes the best month since January. Actually, not to be surprised if let's say you have been looking or watching in my charting, or my previous video, I have been bias on the upside since the 1st April. I always give it upside call. I bias on 34 to 34.3. In between, definitely there will be noise. If let's say you have been making, because we know that 34,000 is the first resistance, right? I mean the second resistance. So you have been trading close this area. So if let's say you have been shorted, benefited, I hope it's not like you are waiting to short and then right on you should move your stop loss every time when it inch lower, right? So it's to even like move it to break even to protect your risk, right? So last Friday with a breakout of above 34,000, we will be eyeing to look at 34,300, which is the last final resistance level that we will be watching. And what will be the things that actually move or cause the market to either be spike above, right? Is mainly due to two things. As usual, we are coming to the first week of the month. Definitely, we'll be going through the major news against the employment data, the Fed rate decisions. I think 25 basis point. No way to go. Most likely will be confirmed, but ultimately we have coming to the May of 25 basis point. So subsequently, uh, will the Fed, pause on increasing the interest rate, or what is their decisions will determine the market movement itself. All right, so uh, of course they can be saying that with all the data, this will be the last rate hike, and then we're going to take a pause and then review what is happening because the data, important data, came on Friday, which is the non-farm payroll, the unemployment rate, and then the following week the CPI will then result them to tilt the table, right? So just be cautious if let's say you are trading at 34,300. Please place wisely on your stop loss itself. Okay, not only on that, next week the earnings continue. Last week we can see that I think it's kind of like a couple of good results as well. um so this week we will be looking into tech continue. It's like AMD. That is actually one of my highlights, which I'm going to talk later as well. So AMD, of course there's many other, you know, like Apple, which is a huge one. Afterwards, Facebook posting last week, give a significant jump itself, right? So just watch out on this news. If let's say you're holding any of the company itself, okay. So two things: earnings and economy stay ongoing for the coming week. So for the stock market itself, let's take a look what's happening on last Friday. Last Friday, I think Amazon shares closed down. I think they have just been uh at the safe side. Doesn't mean they are not doing well. They just want to let people know the expectation for the next coming quarter. All right. Snap and Pinterest is the one that is disappointed. They dropped more than 10%. But Snap is still under Facebook, right? So, okay, we come to Facebook that later, which is Meta, right? So that's all for last week itself. So of course there is a lot of news going on. First Republic Bank, are they going to build them out? This kind of thing. We are not going too in depth into it. All right. So let's go to the chart itself. So for Dow Jones next week we are actually back to the buyers again. 34,300. We are just less than 300 point away. I think it's quite easy for it to reach, but where will it head to is the next question. All right, where will it to? So at the moment I don't see any resistance at this junction, so it might highly possible that it will resume the bullish to 34.3 by next week. Okay, so let's go. All right, so do take note before we go into the more important chart. Take note on the VIX itself, because VIX, right, we are right now trading at the bottom. All right, trading at the bottom, meaning to say, right, if let's say as you can see that theoretically, right, historically, right, $15 is actually quite a good support area. When they hover at this area, market tend to have more movement. Just nice come in play with sell and main go away. Will it continue or not? All right, so this is what I said previously, right? It actually did spike. That is in the April. So 2022. So let's review again. Will the history repeat by itself? So do watch out. VIX is actually at the low side. People start to get easy, start to not to panic. Everything seems good, but actually the economy is not that nice, right? All right, so let's look into index first. So next is Hang Seng Index. For Hang Seng Index, pretty well done. Last Friday they closed above 20,000. As we know that 20,000 is always the pivot point for Hang Seng, right? So right now, on Fibonacci level, a decent pullback to 50. Go to 78, decent pullback supported by two crucial things. One is the 61.8% Fibo, second is the Fibonacci of 20,000, and then next is also supported by this moving average, which is 50 days. Alright, so right now we are trading above it. So 3 ideal point plus slightly bullish on the US side. I think for my perspective, I think that we may see some high side on the Hang Seng Index. So, but do take note, as we know that we are trading on Hang Seng on China, right? Government politics is always one of the issue. So just be cautious if let's say you are trading such index. Please know where is your stop loss, alright, to protect yourself. So, with that, right, we go into another Nasdaq index. So sorry to jump back to US again. Alright, so for US Nasdaq index, this is what I say. Since 50 April, buyers on upside depending on tech earning. Kind of, but tech earning always seems to be like not that bad, right? Not that bad. So this is the weekly chart, gentlemen. So for let's take a look at the daily chart. Where did I post it? 15 April. So 15 April is somewhere here. Alright, somewhere here. Okay, so we are right now at the upside. It came down. Alright, and then it go back. Okay, so of course, if let's say you shorted, you took this as your supported resistance 38.2%, but you are putting yourself in risk. Reason being, know that last week is the earnings report. Alright, it can be very volatile unless throughout the whole tech earnings is telling me it's very sourish, bearish. Then by all means you short and then you put somewhere stop loss here. But when you're playing on news earning, you always get pump and dump. Alright, so this is dump and pump, so the other way around. So just be cautious. Right now we are almost after the tech earnings. We know things start to peace down. Market will go by its ways. Okay, go according by the way itself, or by the economy news, or by the Fed interest rate. So interest rate pause is actually bringing a good news for tech. So let me write it first. All right, just in case I forget. 30th April. Okay, so FOMC rate decisions, if pause or cut for June after, will bring good news to tech sector and boosting Nasdaq upside. Okay, so this is what we are expecting. Okay, so this is what we are expecting. All right, so most likely 37,000. Sorry, 13,750, which is the next Fibo at 50%, will most likely be achievable. All right. Next resistance at 13,5, 13. All right, let's take here. Okay, 50 Fibo. All right, so if you are trading on Nasdaq, just be cautious. Okay. Okay, so might be just a boost. Let's go to another counter we'll be looking at today. Just go directly to Tesla. Okay, Tesla is happening as well. So this is what I mentioned. We have shorted, and then first support is at 150, 120. So the low it went to is actually around 152. All right, and then it jumped back. So it seems like 150 is a well support area. So if you haven't took your profit, or if you wanted to short, just be cautious. It might have some gap recover play. All right, it may have some gap recover play. Okay, so we might be looking at this area, some gap recover play before the short. Okay, so ultimately is how the market is going to sing, right? So just watch out. If you wanted to join the fund, it may recover to 180, and then where it's support and resistance, or where it actually penetrate will depend on the overall market itself. Okay, so let's take a sorry, I didn't write today. Just want to show you guys the process of thoughts that I've going through. May see gap recover. So target 180 to decide pull or back. Alright, so some short note to remind me to remind yourself when I revisit the video again. Okay, so next counter we will be looking into Meta. Okay, Meta. Okay, so this is Facebook, right? Ideal short price 220, 235. This gap is mainly due to the earnings, all right, due to the earnings. But if you go in and dive, all right, or you dive direct in depth, right? Yes, it's 12%, and subsequently going forward, they may see more earnings coming up. But not to forget, burning of huge money in the metaverse. What is their underlying the another arm of asset like Snap is doing, many more is not performing that well as well. So actually hitting this area above my ideal short price, it triggered me to monitor it closely. So I'll be looking, is there any sign of shorting, or perhaps I've shorted. So I don't want to say much. You guys go and decide. All right. So this is actually what is my take note of my playoff. Will be watched and monitored closely from now. Okay, so next counter we will be going into is actually on AMD. Okay, so this is what I October, wow, very long already. Okay, this is wow, even longer. Okay, great. So as you can see, I didn't write. I just write there that I review. Okay, so right now, ignore all this. Why? Because things changed, right? That's why I come into play. Okay, so firstly, we go into the weekly chart. So what is happening? Price is above 200-day moving average, as you can see. Okay, price is above 200-day moving average, as you can see. Second thing, they are going to have their earnings report on this coming week. I mean, correct, this coming week. So they have their earnings report this coming week. But it actually catch my attention where the price run above. Right now, 85 is actually the mid-tier price we will be looking at. So it's between 70. I think I wrote, never mind. I think I wrote before 72 and 100 is actually hovering in between. As you can see, right, the price will be hovering this area. So right now, 85 is actually a midpoint. Price is actually shooting up. One good news is that we, as you know, if you pay attention to the market, Intel actually performed quite well last week on their earnings report. Not well, but at least they are back to revenue earnings again, right? Some good news on Intel side. So I think might spill over to AMD. So if let's say you want to take a grab, you may consider at this area 85 as a cut loss, but do take note next week is the earning. Alright, do take note next week is the earning. So just be cautious, put this into watch list. We may see more on the upside, so I might want to put some arrow, so target $100 first. Okay, so just a quick one. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, I know I need to write my homework and ask you to follow. Okay, so next week earning, watch out, resistance at 100. Good sign of bullish at the moment. Alright, so this is what my notes will be. Alright, so AMD, I will watch list into it. Alright, so next one we'll be looking into okay, JD. Alright, JD is a set one. We got cut off support 35, as I mentioned. So it didn't penetrate, go higher from there, because overall index of Hang Seng and China. Not only on that, I think JD have some news they are splitting up as well. So you know, they are just like going to follow Tencent to have many different arms, uh, you know, but ultimately it's still one group, but they want to have individual group itself. So the bad news actually make the price penetrate below 35. We got flush. All right, we got flush out. Right now this is the downtrend, we can see, but it's well supported. So if you have been following my style of trading, you know that this is what I'm looking for usually. So coming week, I will pay attention. There's no revenge trade, but I will just pay attention. Will it actually start trading above 35? All right. If yes, all right, I might take note. 11 May is the earnings. I might consider to decide after the earnings. All right, I might consider to decide after the earnings. I don't care it run away. All right, because I know it's a bottom, so I don't mind to wait until the earnings and then decide should I continue to enter into it. Like I said, Chinese politics is very sensitive. Okay, so what will I do? As you can see, is actually on the 11 May. So for here, I'll just write 30 April. Watch out on upcoming earnings to decide 35 will be a good low support. Alright, so this is what I will decide. Which is actually right now, if without the earnings, I might consider to enter again. Okay, even though I got stopped out, but I know this weekly this weekly candle, if the next week we are able to see something above, okay, which is above the 39, all right, let's say 39, will be a good reversal pattern on the candlestick. It's called a candlestick patterns. All right, so I'll be watching it closely as well for JD. Okay, so that's all for this week market outlook. Don't want to go into in depth as well. Enjoy a long weekend for people who are in Singapore. The Labor Day as well. So that's all. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Goodbye.